Final segment with Paul Joseph Watson of PrisonPlanet.com. It's the Alex Jones Show. I am Jason Burmis sitting in. And Paul, before you go, I want to get your take on Calderon earlier in the week getting in front of the White House lawn with President Barack Obama, denouncing the Arizona law. President Barack Obama getting up there saying, well, I think the law has the potential to be used to racially profile, and then now getting in front of our Congress and receiving a standing ovation as he says, yeah, we're going to ban the guns, and we're just going to make everybody legal here. It's despicable what Arizona's doing.
Yeah, I wrote an article this morning about Congressman McClintock's response to what Calderon said and how he was cheered on by the Democrats in Congress. And he basically quoted President Teddy Roosevelt from about 100 years ago on how immigration was originally defined and how immigrants should emigrate into the United States and how it should be done. And the full quote's in the article. And Teddy Roosevelt basically said, we only have room for one flag, the American flag. We only have room for one language, and that is the English language. And yet, we were forced to witness a few days ago Michelle Obama, the First Lady, who visited a school in New Hampshire, dancing around with these children a Mexican flag inside a U.S. school, while the children told her about how their parents were illegal aliens. So I find it absolutely abhorrent that you've got these radical racial liberation theology people who are hyped up with this La Raza coming into the U.S. illegally, flying the Mexican flag, tearing down the U.S. flag, and now even you have students on campuses getting kicked off for wearing T-shirts with the American flag on. And it's completely 180 to what the original scope and purpose of what rational immigration into America was supposed to be about. So it's a disgrace that a president, call him a president lightly, he basically lost the election and he got in by hook or by crook. So an unelected dictator lecturing the United States Congress and the American people about their own domestic laws, and then going further and attacking the Second Amendment and calling for the assault weapons ban to be reinstated. And McClintock called it an outrage, and that's exactly what it is.
Absolutely an outrage. And to go back to what Michelle Obama did, they are playing on the dumbed-down masses' heartstrings by showing you this cute little girl, and my mommy says we don't have papers. Does that mean I'm going to get taken away? And then Michelle Obama says, don't worry, sweetie. That's one of the things we have to fix, and we're going to fix that. Don't worry. I was blown away, and you're seeing this all over the news.
Yeah, but then look at what happens if you don't have papers in Mexico. You know, you get thrown in jail. I mean, just look at the picture at the top of my article today. People who visit Mexico say, and we quoted another one who was a resident of Arizona in the article yesterday, that basically you can't travel for 20 minutes without getting stopped and searched by goons in military outfits with guns. So that's how Mexico treats visitors to Mexico, whereas, you know, you just walk straight across the border into the United States and you can get a welfare, you can get a job, you can get all these civil rights. And just for enforcing an immigration policy that's already on the books in Arizona, suddenly, you know, everybody's in outrage about it. And again, it's a contrived media spectacle. The key thing about it is, according to all the polls, and I linked to one in the article yesterday, the majority of Hispanic, African Americans and Asian Americans support enforcing the current immigration laws that are on the books.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
We are back. It's the Alex Jones Show. I am Jason Burmis sitting in. Paul Joseph Watson just left us, and we've got Bob Chapman on the line. We're going to be getting into the economy and so much more with Mr. Chapman. But first, I want to thank a couple of the sponsors that have made this radio broadcast possible. purewaterfreedom.com. If you want to affordably remove fluoride from your tap water, go visit purewaterfreedom.com. They have a full line of household fluoride filters. You can even remove fluoride from every water source in your home with a whole house fluoride system. So go check them out right now at purewaterfreedom.com. And of course, our oldest sponsor out there, survivalseedbank.com, 877-327-0365. In a real crisis, having non-hybrid seeds means having the ability to grow an endless supply of nutrient-dense food to feed your loved ones. You want a small victory against the New World Order? Grow that victory garden. Go to survivalseedbank.com or check them out at 1-877-327-0365. All right, we're joined by Bob Chapman. And I have a couple of questions for Bob myself. I was only able to scan over the news for about an hour today. I was out of town last night. So there are a couple headlines that I'd like to go over, including this one right here. FDIC problem banks at 775, a total of 775 banks, or 1/10 of all U.S. banks, were on the FDIC's list of problem institutions in the first quarter as bad loans in the commercial real estate market weighed on bank balance sheets. And it's probably much worse than that. But of course, the 1/10, the 10% they're talking about, are the smaller banks that will be consolidated into the big boys. What's your take, Bob?
Well, first of all, the figure's over 2,000. The real figure, I know that because I have somebody who attends those meetings who leaks the stuff to me. Second of all, there's 2,000 banks that the controller of the currencies office has their employees in, and they're actually running the banks. And eventually, all of those banks will probably go under. 72 banks officially have gone under this year, but they don't count how many branches they had, and many of them have 50 or 300 or whatever it is branches. So it's been fairly extensive as far as job loss is concerned. And I think that there's a good possibility that 200 to 300 will go under this year. It's hard to tell which way they're going to go on it as far as whether they're going to have some mergers. And very often they don't even announce the mergers. The FDIC probably has about $90 billion, including the 3 years that the banks have paid ahead on their dues. That probably will last them till the end of the year, maybe into the first quarter next year, and they're going to be broke again. And so it's not very good. But those are the numbers on that.
So what are we going to see? More revolving bailouts once this comes out? Once we have a couple banks go under, some more consolidation of power, they'll say the FDIC is broke and needs more help?
Well, under the bill that was just passed in the Senate, which must go to conference in the House, the Federal Reserve, instead of being audited like they should be, is going to have one audit, and it's going to be restricted to just one certain area, and that's it. And so what they're doing is throwing the public a bone. And within that bill, the FDIC is supposed to take over the control of the currency, the FDIC, the SEC, the CFTC, and a new group called Consumer something or other to protect consumers. And then they also have another group that they've formed under that.
Hold right there, Bob. We're going to come back to you on the other side. It's the Alex Jones Show. We're going to go over this new Senate bill that passed 59 to 39 just yesterday with Bob Chapman of the InternationalForecaster.com.